So, Shannon, do you read this as a shot at Doc Rivers?
I view this as an indictment on Kawhi Leonard because that's your job. If you're the player that everybody says, because I got a quote. I follow Skip Bayless from time to time. I hop in and off your time. Don't worry about how often I follow you. This was sent out by Skip Bayless. You real Skip Bayless. On May 4th, 2017. Hey, LeBron.
Wait a second. You're going back on my Twitter to May 4th, 2017?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, LeBron, it's over. Kawhi Leonard is now the best player in the NBA. Sorry. Real Skip Bayless. That's you, right? Blue check mark.
Two-way player. Yeah.
No. Anyone two. I don't see no two. It said the best player. But that's not here nor there. Hold on. He said maybe it would be beneficial to play more regular season games. Really, Kawhi? When you had it built in, you and Uncle Dennis about load managing at least 20 games a year. Now you want to play more games. You can't practice because your knees bulky. Whoa, I can't believe this. Can you imagine if LeBron James in a game 7 goes 1 for 11 in the fourth quarter, scores 2 points in the second half, 0 in the fourth quarter, and blames the loss on the team's IQ? Remember when LeBron James lost his last game? You come up with all them shenanigans. Oh, he was sedated. Oh, he was this and that. No, Kawhi, you're the best player. Too many people have said you're the best player in the NBA. Don't do this. Don't put this at Doc's feet. This is on you. You wanted to come to the Clippers, remember? You didn't want to play with LeBron. You wanted to beat LeBron. How about beat the team? What happens if you're not playing LeBron? Skip, this is embarrassing. Hold on. What does IQ got to do with a team that you up by 12 in Game 7? You're up by 19 in Game 6. You're up by 16 in Game 5. I want to know what the hell does IQ, because did you use your IQ to get the lead? And then all of a sudden you got dumb and couldn't keep it? No, Kawhi, you gagged this one, bro. Wear it. You know that little fake crime that you had to do to try to take your little shot at LeBron? Put that on top of your head. The faux king. He the faux king, Skip Bayless. It hurts you. No. You said the Clippers. And I don't care what everybody else said.
Okay, how many times are we going to say that?
You said it.
Yeah.
So don't be talking about it's easy.
So this is the first time in the history of the show that you've been able to gloat about anything, and it's getting a little bit old.
No, it's old now.
Yeah, it's
old now.
But
own
clearly, who is my favorite team in the NBA?
I don't know.
Who is it? I'm asking you.
Anybody that plays LeBron.
Who's my favorite team?
Anybody that plays LeBron?
It's obviously the San Antonio Spurs. Who did I tell you for 5 years was my favorite player in the league? Kawhi Leonard. What was happening in May of 2017? They were in the playoffs.
Right.
And he was playing at a supremely high level, and I'm a huge fan of his and theirs.
Yeah.
But once he quit on my team, once he clearly had a master plan to get out of San Antonio to Los Angeles, I was out on him for a long time. I couldn't even speak his name. And I told you, I have forgiven, but I haven't forgotten.
Why haven't you forgiven?
So the point is that obviously since Kevin Durant went to Golden State, then he clearly took over the whole league. I've never seen anything like it before.
Stop it, Skip.
And he took over LeBron in LeBron's house in 2 straight Game 3s in which LeBron, as usual, predictably came up small at home.
Skip.
And Kevin won back-to-back finals MVPs by outplaying LeBron right in his grill in his house to back-to-back Game 3s.
Skip, how did he come up small? Do you realize in the first game, LeBron had 42, 14, and 9?
Do you realize what happened at the end of that first game?
You see what you did see?
Well, what happened?
But I thought it was stats.
What
It was stats.
What happened?
It was stats.
Kevin came right down the court and just pulled up right in his face and ripped a 3 that changed the whole game.
So if the man makes a great shot.
Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I told you that Kevin Durant became the best player in basketball.
Okay.
Going into this year, Kevin was still the best player in basketball, and I said it 1,000 times on this show because Kawhi Leonard had fallen back a notch because I didn't think he played very well for Toronto. He hit the luckiest shot I've ever seen to win Game 7, and they survived on luck. And then they got a lot of breaks. What did you say when they got to the finals? There's no Kevin Durant. Then he comes back for a moment, and he's gone. Then Clay is gone, and obviously they got huge breaks.
But nobody cared about that. They said he won. They didn't look at KD not being there. They didn't look at Clay getting hurt. They said Kawhi now is the best player.
Okay, now back to the issue at hand. Yes, I interpret these quotes from the leader of that team as shots at the coach and his staff because Kawhi Leonard is saying, when this team, meaning Denver, is playing us a certain way, trying to get the ball out of my hands, which clearly they were, packing the paint, which clearly they did in the last 3 games, we've got to know what to do. Well, think about that staff. Is there a better coaching staff in basketball? Doc Rivers, he's my favorite coach. Ty Lue, one of my favorite coaches, is sitting right there at his left or right hand, whichever way they do it. And Sam Cassell, highly regarded around the NBA. And that Rex Kalamian, do you remember him from Oklahoma City? He was Kevin Durant's favorite coach in Oklahoma City from 09 through 15. Okay. It was his guy. And he's on this staff also. Well, that's a lot of brain trust, brain power, right? So wouldn't you think that as a group, starting with Doc, they could come up with some new plan to stop the bleeding? Because clearly the momentum had swung wildly to Denver. The pressure was mounting on the Clippers. There was no pressure on Denver. It was all on Kawhi and the Clippers.
And how did Kawhi do?
Well, he did really well until the last game because he led the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks for the 7 games. He led his team, so you can't fault that.
Yes, you can.
And again,
yes, you can.
The first closeout game, fourth quarter, which was game 5, he scored 13 in the fourth. Is that good? That seems pretty good to me.
So
is that choking?
So now it's about numbers. I thought it was about winning.
Okay, whatever. So then the second closeout game, 6, he scored 9 in the fourth quarter, which is pretty good.
Oh, pretty good.
And they had chances to win both those games because they were up going to the fourth quarter. So he was doing his part, but he got no help from anybody else. He did very well. He shot the ball well, shot the 3 well in both those fourth quarters. Then came the epic fail, the epic collapse of Game 7. Nobody played well in the whole second half. He was atrocious. Paul George was George Paul. Kawhi was 1 of 11. What was Paul George in the second half? 0 for 6 from 3.
He was, 4 of 16 for the game. So.
All right, so he was horrendously bad, epically bad. And yet I told you what happened in the biggest picture. I told you, I first guessed this. All year I told you Lou Williams is the closer. Obviously, Kawhi is the best player, but the closer, I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I don't love Kawhi closing games. I never loved it in San Antonio. He's not a big last shot maker-taker, but Lou Williams can be. So I said, he's got to be that guy when it's time to stop the bleeding. Somebody has to say no to the Denver Nuggets. Lou Williams, in the 7-game series against Denver, shot 4 of 27 from 3. But let that process for a second. 4 of 27? That's 16%. It's horrendous. It's hard. You can't overcome that when the guy who is your spark plug, your lightning rod scorer off the bench, prevailing 6th man of the year. I don't know how many times. He's won it 3 times. 3 times. So he didn't want to go to the bubble in the first place. Had to be talked on the final day when you could commit to it.
Right.
Doc talked him off the fence into the bubble. He wasn't into it from the start. He wasn't in shape. He had his little soiree to Atlanta, went to a funeral, then went to Magic City, had to quarantine for another 10 days, and he never looked right. So when it was time for the closer, the 6th man of the year, to take over, he shot 4 of 27, and it got so bad in the last 3 fourth quarters, he wouldn't even shoot. He shot 7 times in 3 fourth quarters, 5, 6, and 7. That's impossible. You're not going to win. So what was Denver doing? They'd say, we are going to trap Kawhi and take the ball out of his hands. What's your plan, Doc? What's plan B? So Kawhi would try to split the double team, except he quit shooting his pull-up mid-range, which is just Jordan.
Because he was clanking it.
Oh, what? And then he started driving the ball to the rim. Well, he's not LeBron. He doesn't pack the wall up that LeBron is 6'9", 250. Kawhi might be 225. He doesn't carry the clout that LeBron does.
Think about this, Skip.
So Joker was owning Kawhi at the rim, especially in Game 7. He would not let him get to the rim. And Kawhi was looking more and more pathetic and foolish.
But here's the thing, Skip. If you look at what did the Clippers do? They double yoke. They say, we're not going to let you be a scorer. We're going to make you be a passer. He comes out with 13 assists. Okay, James Harden. They say, we're going to get the ball out of James Harden. James Harden averaged 10, 11 assists. You see the difference? But I thought Doc said he didn't know how good of a passer because Kawhi Leonard. I remember.
No, he called him an elite passer.
I can't tell. Look at the little assist totals he got. I can't tell. That's what you do out of the double team. You pass out of it.
I thought he was trying to pass all night to a fault.
Well, 6 of 22 says otherwise.
Well, nobody could make shots. So what do you always tell me about LeBron? Nobody. He had 7 assists because they missed 15 threes.
Whoa,
Am I right?
whoa. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Skip.
yeah.
You said, hold on. I remember. You remember, Skip, that right before the All-Star game.
Yep.
They played New Orleans, and LeBron says we're top heavy. It's bleak. You came out here and eviscerated him. Now I want that evisceration of Kawhi.
Did
talking
he say
about
that?
IQ. No, IQ.
He say we're top
He's
heavy?
questioning the coaching. Doc Rivers hold on. You said Doc Rivers is one coach of the year. Doc Rivers has won a title. And you questioning Ty Lue has a title.
Yep.
You question Sam Cassell won 2 titles as a player.
Yep.
And you're questioning their IQ?
Yep.
I question your toughness.
Yep.
I question your mentality, Kawhi. Come on with it, Kawhi. You the guy. Kawhi says, I don't want to join LeBron. I want to beat LeBron. Beat the Nuggets. This was your opportunity. This was the very first time Kawhi had been the hunted.
Yep.
He was the man that they expected. I tell you, boy, expectations is a heavy burden to bear. Very few people can hold their head up when expectation is pulling it down. Woo, Skip Bayless.
Well,
it's over for you. He gonna talk about you need to play more together.
It's over for the Lakers.
Play more together.
Yep.
You can't play. What about that load management? Now he wants to play. He, as you said, he quit on San Antonio. He load managed 20-plus games in Toronto. He was load managing. Oh, Kawhi don't care nothing about this. He's got it figured out. Everybody, he's got it. I said, what happens when that load management and they don't win? And I told you, guys looking at him funny. Hold on, bruh. You ain't never practicing. Paul George ain't never practicing.
Did he load manage in the bubble?
You couldn't. You played you can't load manage in the playoffs.
Yes, you can. Heck, you could easily.
How?
He could do anything he wants. They had to just get on their knees and say, what do you want?
He can load.
He runs the franchise.
Oh, he does, huh?
Yep.
But you told me only LeBron did that. You told me only LeBron ran franchises.
He does.
Oh, guess what he can do now? He can load manage all he wants to.
Well, it sounds like Kawhi just might be angling to get the coach removed. That's the kind of shot that gets that gets to the owner's ears, and he starts thinking, man,
Masai Ujiri had Kawhi, he won a title with him.
So we're not answering the question here.
What?
Are they going to fire Doc?
I don't believe they will, but this is a very strong indictment
I would
against
say
Doc.
so. I would
mean,
agree.
to have your best player come out and say something of this, considering I've never heard Kawhi say anything worth repeating.
Totally agree.
And for him to say this, Skip, there are certain players that really don't say a whole lot, but when they speak, you're like, oh, that can't be good.
Yeah, he doubled down about 3 times with the same quote. He said, we need guys knowing exactly where they need to be in crunch time or in situations where you can't put the ball in the hole. So he's saying when worst came to worst, to me, I'm interpreting it as where was our coaching staff to say, what's our plan B? We revert to what?
I think in the original, Skip, he talked about basketball IQ, but then when he said what guys they're supposed to be, I got him taking shots at his teammates because he's saying they don't know where the hell they need to be.
You could argue that.
But Kawhi, it don't matter.
Hey, when you have epic fails, epic collapses, somebody usually has to pay for it.
Can you imagine if LeBron James had a roster like this, and got put out in the second round, what would be said?
Can you imagine what was said in 2011 in the finals when they had the dream team?
Say it again. Where was it?
2011.
Where was it?
It was at Dallas.
Where was
it?
No, I want you to say where it was. In the finals, not in the second round.
Yep.
In the finals.
So that was when he was playing in the East, and it was a cakewalk.
No,
Skip.
No.
They're playing the Dallas Mavericks, and they're up 2-1, and it was epic collapse.
So let me ask you a question.
You know what got said through that whole offseason?
Let me ask you a question.
Woo.
How many teams have come back from 2-1 deficits, and how many teams have come back from 3-1 deficits? That guy with Paul with a great head coach, a championship winning coach. 2 top 10 players. And you let him come back from 3-1?
Well, the GOAT. You tell me he's the GOAT. He let Dallas come back from 2-1, and it was collapse.
I know a guy that...
And remember, his team didn't have leads of 16, 19, and 12. He didn't do that. They just got annihilated in games 4, 5, and 6.
You know what, Skip? It's funny that you said 2-1, because I remember a guy in 1989 had a 2-1 lead over the Detroit Pistons. I ain't going to call his name, but he had a 2-1 lead going, and he was home.
You mean the GOAT? Talking about the GOAT. The guy who went 6-0 in the
Skip,
finals?
the only
LeBron is about to be 4-6, which is not that great. It's still 2 games under 500.
Hey, Skip, don't do
Yep.
this. Skip, why you try to steal my moment? You won't let me shine. Let me be.
You're
I'm
shining.
No.
You got it.
No,
You got it.
no.
I don't know. Are we going to go on for like 4 more days?
Oh,
Yeah.
no. We're going to go over the October. This is game 7. Should be October 17th.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we don't get that far because I need to celebrate.
I'm here to state the Clippers lost. I just wanted that out there. The Clippers lost. They're out.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
So I want you to say what they did. They choked.
The Clippers choked. I called them choking dogs yesterday.
Yeah,
They
I
went
like that. I
from
like
dogs
that. I like
to
that.
choking
I like
dogs.
that. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.